Yeah, Eddie Howe hoping that his side bounce back tonight. Look, Athletic Club, Dean, are up against it. Their main attacking threats are not here. There are no excuses for Newcastle, but Howe will want them to start really positively tonight.
He will, but he is right. They are a very defensively sound team, Athletic Club, and they'll go back to that. I think they're not going to make it easy. They're going to sit in because of the lack of attacking threat that they have. They'll look to nullify Newcastle's forward players, and then can they cause something on the counter-attack? So I expect them to make it as difficult as possible for Newcastle. So it's down to them to be creative, to have the intensity that they can show here and break down that side.
It's a great atmosphere here, isn't it? It has become, it's such a great place to play football now.
It is. I mean, look, the tifo, the flags, it's special, isn't it, what they can create, especially on a Champions League night. And as a player, you can't really ask for much more, and there's no excuses, because it's not like you won't be up for it, because as soon as you step out of the tunnel and you see the array of flags and the supporters and the noise, you've got to make sure that you're dragged along with it, and you can use it as fuel for your performance.
There's a huge tifo covering the Gallagher end away to our right. It's a black and white striped flag that basically says we are Newcastle. And Newcastle hoping to pick up a third win in the Champions League. We mentioned they've got some tricky ties coming up on their travels in the Champions League. They've got to go to Marseille, Bayer Leverkusen and Paris Saint-Germain. But with 11 points guaranteeing a spot in the knockout stages last year, Dean, they'll feel one more win, and they maybe just need one on top of this to get through.
Yeah, and I think that's, I'm sure, what the managers will be talking about, the importance of this game, not looking ahead to those, but giving them the best opportunity, the platform to then be able to go to those tough places, knowing that maybe a draw might be enough to help them get through to the knockout stages, which I think would be a fantastic achievement for this Newcastle side.
Yeah, it would indeed. You are listening to Champions League Live on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it. Book now at enterprise.co.uk. It's been a huge week of sporting action already today. Karabakh 2, Chelsea 2. Chelsea dropping Champions League points. Over on Talksport tonight, Manchester City Dortmund with Sam Matterface, Troy Deeney and Adrian Durham, our team for that one. Tomorrow night, we've got another triple header of European football. Gets underway 5:45 right here on Talksport 2. Sturm Graz take on Nottingham Forest in the Europa League. Alex Crook with a former Forest defender, Luke Chambers, for that one. Then at 8 o'clock on Talksport, Aston Villa take on Maccabi Tel Aviv in the Europa League. Natalie Sawyer, Jim Proudfoot and the former England captain Stuart Pearce, our team for that one. And on Friday, tomorrow night on Talksport 2, we're at Palace for Palace against AZ Alkmaar in the Conference League. Ollie Clinton, the former Palace man, Darren Ambrose, our team, and we round off the week Watford against Bristol City, live on Talksport 2, exclusively live on Talksport 2, your home of the EFL. You need the Talksport app so you don't miss any of the live sporting action to come. It's nearly Christmas as well. We'll be at the darts soon enough as well across the Talksport network. But right now it's Champions League action, part of a double header on Talksport 2. Newcastle looking for 3 valuable points. They've won the last 4 here. Can they make it 5 from 5? 2 changes from the loss to West Ham at the weekend. Trippier for Kraft, Barnes for Murphy, Pope in goal, Trippier, Chow, Botman and Byrne at the back, Bruno Guimaraes, Sandro Tonali and Joe Linton in the middle, with Gordon and Barnes either side of Nick Voltemada, who leads the line. For Athletic Club, well, 6 changes. They lost late in their derby at Sociedad at the weekend. They were already without Inaki and Nico Williams, and this afternoon they lost Gorka Garetheta, their star striker, through illness. Unai Simon is the keeper. Boaro, Paredes, Vivian and Arezzo at the back. Haregithar, Rego and Vesga across the middle, with Berenguer, Gomez and Navarro leading the Athletic Club line. We are almost set for action. Newcastle, they're having a team photo in their black and white striped kit. Nick Pope in purple on the end of the team photo here. The visitors in a lime green coloured strip, not their traditional red and white. They're going to be attacking the Gallagher end here. What an atmosphere we've got. It is rocking here. And Eddie Howe, as well as he'll want to do in the Premier League, Dean, the further it can go in the Champions League, it just keeps everybody calm and everybody looking up here.
Yeah, and I think, look, the thing is, it wasn't long ago that they could only dream of another night in the Champions League. So we've had one season at it. These players have got that experience to come into this season's Champions League again, and they'll be looking to go far in this competition. They're a match for any team in the Champions League. Here, certainly, at St James's Park. And again, I think they've got to show that. They've got to show that here at St James's Park, no team throughout Europe wants to come.
What will Eddie's message have been to his team before they came out onto the pitch here?
I think standards. I think they've set a standard under Eddie Howe, and it's about reaching those standards more consistently. They haven't done so far this season. This is another chance. This is the Champions League, and it's about appreciating that, not taking it for granted, the players that are missing for Athletic Club, and showing what they're best at, which is overrunning teams with their power and attacking play.
We're about to get underway. Newcastle defending the Gallagher end away to our right, as they like to do in the first half. We're about to get underway here. The music booming around St James's Park. Athletic Club about to get us underway. Ivan Kruzliak is our official in the middle. 18 yellow cards in 3 games for him in the Champions League so far. And the ball not forward by Simon, and an early chance here for Athletic Club to attack right over on that far side of the ground, but the ball cleared away by Newcastle. And remember, got off to a fantastic start down at West Ham on Sunday, only to go on and lose the game. And it's Athletic Club who have it inside their own half, and Gordon chasing, closing down, and a challenge went in there from Gordon, and now they're in a bit of trouble here. They're going to have to go back to Simon, who side foots it forward. He's all in orange tonight. It's a lovely mild evening here at St James's Park. Temperatures in the mid-teens, and it's dry, and the pitch looking immaculate as the ball knocked into the press box by the fullback there on the near side, Orejo, and it'll be a Newcastle throw-in. Dan Burn will take it. He'll go back to Sven Botman, and Tonali drops in, wanting an early sight of the ball. And Newcastle playing out, but it's interesting. The Athletic Club are trying to press really high, Dean, already.
Yes, they are. They'll. As a team, defensively, they're very good. Whether that is sitting in or whether that is as a team getting forwards compact and look to press that back line of Newcastle, trying to play out. Certainly a brave move to come away here and do that.
Yeah, well, Ernesto Valverde in his 4th spell in charge of Athletic Club, and qualified by finishing 4th in La Liga last year. Got off to a disappointing start. Some couple of defeats. They lost to Arsenal, then they were beaten by Dortmund, but they came from behind to beat Karabakh last time out. Here's Gordon cutting in from the left. He's given it away, and at the moment it's the lime green shirts that are all over the ball at the minute. Into the centre circle they go, but they give it away. Joe Linton gets in and he gives it straight back, and at the moment, Dean, nobody can string any meaningful passes together. No,
it's very congested in the middle of the pitch, and with the surface being slick, when it's fired in, your touch has got to be absolutely perfect when you've got the pressure on you, and it hasn't been so far. But I wonder whether they have. They looked at that performance against West Ham United and thought, we'll have a go. Well, here's a chance for Navarro into the edge of the area. He did really well. Now he floats across towards the far post. Thiaw will head it away. Joe Linton's header will fall edge of the box. Tonali had to be strong and was strong, but his pass is given away. But Joe Linton slides in round the edge of the 18-yard box, and Newcastle tried to get away, but they've given it away. Here's Vivian driving forward. Oh, he's overhit the pass, has he? Can he keep it in? No, they can't. And I just think there, Danny Vivian, he's closing in on goal. He's inside the penalty area. He's in front of goal. Could he have had a shot? He really didn't want to, though, did he? He really didn't want to. I think even if Thiaw had moved out the way there, he still wouldn't have had a shot. And then it was a really poor pass, wasn't it, in towards Navarro. All it needed was just a nice little 5-yard pass along the floor to give him a chance to shoot. Overhits it, chance gone, but again that just came from the pressure that they put on Newcastle as they tried to play out again. Yeah, it's been a frantic start. 0-0, 3 gone. Mark Wilson with a former West Ham and England man, Dean Ashton, here in the northeast tonight. Already tonight, Karabakh 2, Chelsea 2. Chelsea were in front in that game, but they eventually had to settle for a point. Long trip home for them. Tonali trying to win a throw-in over on the far side, and does win a throw-in over on the far side, just over halfway. Newcastle will have it. Kieran Trippier back in the team will take it quickly. He goes to Malik Thiaw, and he gets it away to Sven Botman, who will
come forward towards the halfway line, but he's been hassled and harried. He gives it to Gordon, who's instantly surrounded, and he's lost it. And again, Athletic Club win it high up the field. They're driving forward. Botman with a bit of a shove. Athletic Club wanted a free kick. They're not going to get one, but just signs there. As soon as Newcastle make any kind of go forward movement, Athletic Club are all over them at the minute.
Yeah, it was excellent, wasn't it? Excellent pressure from the opposition. And it's doing it in 2s and 3s. It wasn't like one just went and won it. As soon as Gomez went, Navarro was there, Orrego was there, just backing each other up to win the ball back, and then the 2 and 3 of them can then burst away.
Well, Newcastle have it now. 0-0, 4.5 gone. Ball played forward here. They're trying to get Harvey Barnes in down the left. Simon comes sliding out and will ease the ball behind for a goal kick to Athletic Club, who have it. And finally, 5 minutes in, a hush, a slight hush goes around, but then quickly the noise increases again. 0-0.
Just wondered whether it would be Gordon on the left and Barnes on the right, or the other way round. And it is Gordon that started on the left, so Harvey Barnes on the right hand side, and of course he'd be delighted to play, but I don't think he likes it out there as much as he does on this left hand side. But someone's got to do that, whether it's Gordon or him, if they're going to play the two of them together.
Yeah, you made a great point earlier on when we were previewing the game over on Talksport about how he's changed his team, or not changed his team, if you like. And Barnes, as he said, having to play out of position just to get into the team at the minute. Yeah,
and probably wanting to give an opportunity of that. That is late, and that's the pressure that they're just trying to put on Athletic Club. Tonali is that got caught in the midfield area. But you're right, I think of Gordon and the way he started the season, not been particularly up to his normal standards, and I wonder whether that is not having Lewis Hall raiding down the left-hand side. Dan Burn, a very different type of left-back.
Yeah, Vesgar it was who was spoken to by the referee. And now Newcastle have it. They play it short to Joe Linton, lays it off to Dan Burn. Burn will roll it down the left touchline. Here's Joe Linton again, but he's gone without it. And here now is a chance for Orrego down the right-hand side. He's sprinting towards the Gallagher end. He's running out of room, but he's going to win himself a corner here. And he's done really well, the fullback. He was right up against it there. It was almost a sprint to who could get to the goal line first.
Yeah, and he's got a decent turn of pace. Orrego, brilliant positive start though, isn't it, from Athletic Bilbao? Really come here off the back of nothing really, away from home, to come and start the way they have done. Fair play to Valverde. He's got his team at it.
Yeah, Barringer is going to take the corner in front of the Gallagher end. It's going to be an away swinger with his right foot down the right hand side. There's a bit of pushing and shoving. Referee's had a word. Now he says, right, let's get on with the action. Here comes the corner, deep towards the far post. Free header, but it's straight at Pope. And that was a chance there. It was a decent header as well. But thankfully, from a Newcastle perspective, the header from Gomez was straight at Nick Pope, and it remains 0-0.
Yeah, he just peeled away nicely, didn't he? Almost hid away Gomez. And as it went over the top of, I think it was Paredes, his head, he just headed it towards goal, straight at Pope, either side, and he might give him a challenge, but it was very easy for Pope just to claim. But again, just another sign of how well they've started.
Yeah, ball over the top. It's just going to be a little bit too strong. Pope will watch it go out. I'll tell you what, anybody that did take the short odds at William Hill on Newcastle, you'd be a little bit concerned, because Athletic Club might be down on troop steam, but they've come here with a plan.
They have. Yeah, they have. And I honestly think, the manager will have looked at that performance against West Ham. How can we get at them? If West Ham can, we certainly can do. And maybe take them by surprise, because I'm sure they would have thought that they would sit deeper without the attacking players, but they haven't.
Well, Tonali's having a torrid time at the minute. Even he's been put under big pressure. The ball broke kindly. Thiaw will bring it forward. You were talking about Norwich with Adrian Durham earlier on. They're on a miserable run. They're behind at Hillsborough. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Norwich 0. You can feel the pressure, can't you, from here? A former club. Ball over the top. Joe Linton's made a great run into the box. Gets it, brings it down. Can he get the shot away? Has another touch. Left-footed, and he fires it in, but the flag's gone up. As soon as he puts it in, the flag goes up against Joe Linton. It was a delayed flag. It was a nice finish from Joe Linton. 8 minutes gone. Newcastle thought they had the lead. It'll be checked, of course. Dean Ashton, what did you make of that one?
I mean, it's incredibly tight. He's making the run from a deeper position. is just trying to arc the run, is Joelinton, and he might just go a fraction early. The defensive line from Babao was perfect. And he finished it well in the end, Joelinton, but just strayed too early. But that's the option that they've got. If they're going to be pressed, why not just go over the top?
Yeah, goal ruled out. Here come Athletic Club going the other way. Still 0-0 live on Talksport 2 tonight. 9 gone, but here come the visitors again. Chance for the shot from the edge of the box. It's blocked. Navarro it was who had the effort. He looks a really dangerous player. Voltemada back to goal, midway inside his own half. Beautiful touch, gets him away from 2. Then he finds Tonali, and Tonali's bundled over and he'll earn a free kick. But that was brilliant play from Voltemada. Just when his team are under the pump, a couple of lovely touches.
That's what he is. He's so cool and calm. He's got unbelievable awareness and a first touch and dribbling ability. So in tight areas, makes it look really, really easy. And that was class from him.
Here's Tonali, feeds it forward. Another free kick here against Athletic Club. Remains 0-0. There's a goal early for Preston North End. They lead Swansea by a goal to 0. That's in the Championship. Small with a goal there inside the opening 10 minutes. Preston 1, Swansea 0. Still goalless on Talksport tonight. Manchester City 0, Borussia Dortmund 0. It's live on Talksport. It's goalless elsewhere in the Champions League, barring Club Brugge. They're 1-1 with Barcelona. A couple of early goals there. Elsewhere, all the games remain 0-0. Right, Newcastle have got a free kick. 20 yards over halfway. 10 gone here. It's 0-0. Trippier stood over it. He's going to swing the ball in. Floats it now towards the far post. Burn arrives with a header. Oh, what a header! Dan Burn! 12 yards out of the far post, and he arrows it in. It curls right inside the top corner. Brilliant set piece. Dan Burn with another memorable Newcastle goal. Newcastle 1, Athletic Club 0.
Well, not many could do this with their feet, let alone their head. But it is big Dan Burn that peeled to the back post. The ball just floated in, and he met it with the meat of the forehead. And he curled it. There was that much power in the header. He was able to curl it outside that far post. It curled back in, kisses the inside of the post on that far side for a magnificent finish and the opening goal from Dan Burn.
He blows a kiss to the Gallagher end as he saunters down this end. It's just his second goal since he scored that memorable goal in the cup final, of course, that sent Newcastle on their way at Wembley. But what a header. We were right behind it, Dean. As soon as he hit it, it was only going one place, and that was right inside the top corner. That was a wonderful header.
It was a peach, and absolutely no blame from the goalkeeper Simon, because to him it would have looked like it was going wide, and then it bent back in because of the power of that header. And like I said, right inside the post. It was perfectly placed.
It was indeed. 1-0 inside 11 minutes. Burn with a goal, but Athletic Club have got themselves a free kick midway inside the Newcastle half. They're looking for an instant response. Berenguer will go across and take it. Takes all the set pieces. Right-footed, he's on the left touchline, so he's going to try and curl this towards Nick Pope's far post, you'd imagine, here, and hope that somebody can get a touch on it. 1-0 Newcastle lead. Can they hang on to that lead here? Dangerous set piece for the visitors, who whip it in. It looks too deep. It is too deep. And Pope will just stand 3 yards off his goal line and collect it. Really disappointing delivery there.
It was. They've got the goal early doors. Can they now really build on that? Can they test Athletic Club, who haven't been having a great season, especially away from home?
Ball being played inside the Athletic Club penalty area, and they've given it away, and they've given the corner away. That was a shocking pass there. Really poor from the midfielder there. It's just given it clean away, and it's going to be a corner for Newcastle.
Harangiza, that's just a terrible pass. Played in towards him. He just goes to play it to his centre-back and just shanks it out of play for a Newcastle corner, and when you've already conceded from one set play, it's the last thing you want to do.
Well, Tonali will take this one. 13 on the clock, live on Talksport 2. Newcastle 1, Athletic Club 0. And an opportunity for Newcastle, who load the back post. Now movement into the 6-yard box, and it's the keeper, Simon, who came and collected it there. He was in a sea of bodies, and he bowls it out. He's looking for Navarro on the counter. Pope's come a mile out, and Pope will just hammer it right down the other end of the field. It may well go up for a throwing in the by the corner flag, but that got a bit sticky there, didn't it? Pope came racing, 40 yards out of his own goal.
He did, but that's what you need to do now as a goalkeeper. You have to have that high starting position. If that ball's going to be played over from Simon, it was that bowled it out overarm towards Navarro.
And it is a long throw, a throw down in the right back position for the La Liga visitors. They've not won away from home since the opening weekend of the La Liga season. They've struggled on their travels by and large. They were beaten in injury time at the weekend in their big local derby against Real Sociedad. And now a free kick, a silly one there given away by Navarro. Had Botman in a bit of trouble, and he's just given him a nudge, and Botman duly tumbles to the floor, and it's a quickly taken free kick which Newcastle will have wide on their right. They lead by a goal to nil. Dan Burn with a wonderful header. I don't think we'll see too many better headers than that this season. Burn out on the near side, tries to flick it to Gordon. He's given it away though, and it's won back here by Rego. Gets it away, now played forward, and a chance on the turn there for Gomez. He gets it away to Navarro. Athletic Club now just moving the ball wide with Haregitha on that far side. Down there left, they've gone past Trippier. Now there's a chance. They want it played into the box. It's a good early ball in, but Malik Chow's there to put it behind for a corner. That was danger for the visitors. Still 1-0 Newcastle.
Yeah, you can't rest. Newcastle players can't rest. They're technically gifted. These Athletic Club players popping it around. 1 and 2 touch. Really nice play down that left-hand side to get the cross in.
Going to play it short here, Athletic Club. They're going to now whip the ball in deep again to the far post, but again it's far too deep. Sandro Tonali just turns around, looks behind him, sees there's nobody there, and lets it roll out for a goal kick. 15 and a half gone on Talksport 2. Newcastle 1, Athletic Club 0. Dean Ashton, what have you made of the opening 15 minutes?
Well, obviously, other than the goal, Athletic Bilbao, I think, have been outstanding in terms of their approach to the game, the energy they've shown, the way they've pressed Newcastle to make mistakes. But then you can tell they're just lacking that quality, aren't they?
Well, that's a lovely crossfield ball here. Finds Dan Burn, who's off wandering forward. Finds Joe Linton. He's got Guimaraes. They're looking to work it to Trippier. Malik Chow will get a pass. They will find Trippier, but just the momentum of the move has stopped somewhat here. Newcastle go back inside their own half. Their leads by a goal to nil. And here there's been another goal in Belgium. Club Brugge 2-1 up over Barcelona, I believe. That's just come up on the big screen here. It's 1-0 here in favour of Newcastle. Manchester City still 0-0 with Borussia Dortmund. Tonali does well to find Joe Linton. Joe Linton finds Voltemada on the half turn. He's got players advancing. Oh, he just sliced his pass. He had Guimaraes on the run. Couldn't find him, and now going the other way. An opportunity for Berenguer into the edge of the penalty area. Tries to stand up the cross. Again, Malik Chow is there at the near post. Heads it away. He finds Trippier. They are having a real go down their left-hand side, Athletic Club, at the minute, Dean. They just can't find the centre forward with a cross.
No, they can't. It was another good run from Berenguer. Again, look, they haven't got the height in the penalty area. Gomez is towered over by Botman and Burn. So they have to be clever with those crosses in, and they haven't been so far. It's a good ball.
Ball's been given away by Gordon, and here now comes Gomez into the area. Big chance here. Takes it onto his right foot, strikes it, and Pope sticks out a boot and puts it behind. Well, Newcastle were on the attack on halfway. Ball fed to Gordon. He had 3 teammates around him, but somehow he managed to miss them all. And on the break there, Gomez, could he have hit it a little bit earlier, maybe?
Possibly. Looked like he wanted to get it onto his left foot. He cut back inside and then went on the outside with a tight angle. I think it's a little bit of Pope's leg and the outside of the post in the end from Gomez. But again, it's that sloppy play from Newcastle, the pressure from Athletic Club.
Yeah, big chance. Short corner again here. Navarro will lay it back. Berenguer will look to put a right-footed cross in. That's a better ball. It'll fall here to the far post. Shot! A hammer shot hits the post. Bounces to safety. That was Adama Boiro, the fullback, who's unleashed an absolute exocet from the edge of the box. Pope beating all ends up. It hits the post and bounced to safety.
Boiro, that is just an outstanding strike. he had to take his time. It was bouncing towards him, and he just caught it so sweet on the half volley. It just arced away at the last few feet to slam against the post. But the technical ability to keep that down and strike it in the way that he did would have been one of the goals of the Champions League season if that had gone in.
Yeah, it's one of those where you hit it, and we're all honest, we think it's going high in the Gallagher end, but he smashed it. Thankfully, the post in the way, and Newcastle retain their 1-0 lead. Ball now works its way towards this near side. Newcastle have it going from right to left. They're inside their own half. Botman will find Malik Thiaw. He gets it away to Trippier. He plays it down the line looking for Barnes. Barnes beaten to it. Trippier's in there looking to win it straight back. He does win it straight back, but then has to concede a throw in. Sliding challenge. But there have been plenty of warning signals for Newcastle here. We've seen chances. Gomez forced to save, maybe hit the woodwork, and then we've seen that absolute hammer shot from Boiro that hit the upright and bounced to safety. Newcastle who lead courtesy of Dan Burns' header, and Sven Botman's just got a bit of a whack in the face. I think it was accidental. The referee, though, is going to blow for a free kick here, and I think Gomez is not happy with that decision, but Botman is down but won't need treatment.
Yeah, look, he took a decent whack in the face just off the back shoulder of Gomez. I think that's what Gomez was saying. It's not like it was his arm, but still, the referee's got to stop the game. But I'm not quite sure why then it wouldn't go back to the opposition, why Newcastle would have the ball.
Yeah, well, he did blow for a free kick, so Newcastle have it. 20 gone live on Talksport 2 tonight. This game is brought to you in partnership with TNT Sports, the home of European football. Ball diagonally towards the edge of the Athletic Club box. Guimaraes just had a bit of a push there, couldn't resist himself. He was going to get the ball as well. I'd be a little bit disappointed with that, Bruno Guimaraes.
It's just the odd bit of sloppiness, hasn't there, from Newcastle, despite being ahead. It's not been particularly good. Gordon's not got into the game yet. Voltemada barely had a touch. Barnes just doesn't look comfortable on the right, I don't think.
Ball playing out to the near side. Burns' header found a lime green shirt, and forward come the visitors, and they're going to get a free kick. Joe Linton bundles over Navarro. Well, they might be missing the Williams brothers amongst others, but they've certainly come and had a real go here, Athletic Club. And now they've got a free kick that they're going to swing into the box. Nick Pope is asking his team to hold a high line as they can. They're currently just outside the 18-yard box. It'll be Berenger that will take it. Right-footed, going to swing it in towards the penalty area, but it's a low one. It comes off the shin of Gordon. It comes off the shin of Voltemada and finds Gordon, and it's cleared up towards halfway. And Boiro will go all the way back to his goalkeeper. He'll be still ruining the fact that that shot didn't go in the back of the net. Ball played forward. Byrne heads it back to his keeper, and Pope alert just as they were closing in there. Athletic Club, and Burns' header was just as accurate, thankfully for Newcastle, as the one that went in the back of the net.
Yeah, calm defending, wasn't it, from Byrne? He knew exactly what he was doing, I'm sure. But again, they've just struggled to get out. They've just struggled to play out because of their sloppiness and the pressure.
Yeah, Voltemada tries to win it back on halfway. Beautiful bit of skill there. Ball brought forward by Vivian. He gets it away. They're trying to slide the ball through for Gomez, but it's overhit and he'll be watched out by Malik Thiaw. And it goes behind. Earlier on Talksport 2 this evening, Karabakh 2, Chelsea 2. And Paphos beat Villarreal. Big shock there. Paphos picking up a vital win. In the evening games tonight, all goalless. Berlin Club Blues 2, Barcelona 1. Manchester City have just scored over on Talksport. Phil Foden with a goal. They lead over Borussia Dortmund by a goal to nil. You can listen to that with Sam Matterface over on Talksport right now. And the ball being brought forward here by Sven Botman. Newcastle leading by a goal to nil. A Dan Burn master header. Brilliant header. Curled in right inside the post to give Newcastle the lead. Newcastle playing out from the back. They're being hassled and harried here. Their skills are being tested, and Burns' attempted clearance is knocked out for a throw-in.
I'm amazed they haven't gone longer. Newcastle. It's obvious that they've struggled to play out. Well, you don't need to. That is their play. Athletic Club is to press you high. Well, use your pace. You've got Barnes and Gordon. Use that pace. Get Voltemada to come short, and then get your wingers to run in behind the short run from Voltemada. It's pretty simple, just to get them to back off.
Yeah, they did play it long there through Pope, and they almost had a bit of joy. Barnes just overran a pass on halfway. Now he's laid it back. Barnes is going to look to swing it across. They need to deal with this, and they do deal with it in the end. It was Oreso who was covering the fullback right in front of his own goal, just chests it back to Unai Simon. And it is still 1-0. 24 minutes gone in the Championship. Preston 1, Swansea 0, QPR 0, Southampton 0, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Norwich 0, and Portsmouth 0, Wrexham 0. Another triple header of European action for you tomorrow night across Talksport and Talksport 2. Join us for that. But here it's Newcastle 1, Athletic Club 0. They'd like a second goal. You have to say, in fairness, since they scored the goal, Newcastle, Athletic Club have had a couple of really good chances, haven't they?
They don't deserve a second goal, that's for sure. You've got to see a lot more from their forward players so far. Just haven't been able to get into the game at all.
No, they haven't. 1-0 here, live from St James's Park. All given away by Newcastle. Well, Thiaw thought he'd won a throw in, but he's perplexed as to why that call hasn't gone his way. You are listening to Newcastle against Athletic Club in the Champions League live on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, they're here for it. And now we're going to see a long throw, La Liga style, into the edge of the area. It's come off a Newcastle head. Pope calls for it, and Pope collects it comfortably. Looking now to get Gordon away on this left-hand side. He bowls it out. It's a beautiful, right into the step of Gordon here. And Gordon's one-on-one with the fullback, Oreso. Here's Gordon going on the outside. Can he find a cross? He drills it low. It was just in front of Voltemada. Joe Linton will keep it alive for Newcastle. But that was it, one ball out. Newcastle on the attack. Tonali over to the far side. I think the offside flag might go up in a minute. It doesn't. He's played it to the box and it's into the side netting, and now the offside flag goes up. Barnes' flick at the near post wouldn't have counted, but Newcastle haven't had too many forays downfield, Dean Asher. When they do go down, they look pretty dangerous.
And again, incredible, isn't it? Gordon got plenty of pace. Well, let's use it. Pope just throwing that out down the side. Let him use that pace to get at Oreso. Instead, they then cut it back, try and recycle it to Trippier, and in the end he was just offside with the late run that he made. But that was better, and it's so obvious. I mean, it always is sat here, but it's obvious that high line of Athletic Club needs to be breached and just clip that over the top.
Yeah, ball on halfway. Athletic Club do have it, and they will look to go back to Unai Simon, who's not really had a lot to do. He certainly couldn't have done anything about the goal. An absolute wonder strike it was, with the header from Dan Burn that came on 11 minutes. A Trippier free kick from the right, and a wonderful header. Here now come Athletic Club, ball over the top, and again Pope is quickly off his line. He'll just side foot it away, couldn't collect it in his penalty area, and he kicks it high over on the far side into the stand, and Athletic Club will get another chance to launch a long throw, and if they want to. They've been the better side tonight, Athletic Club, but not got anything to show for it just yet. And now they've overrun a pass on the edge of the Newcastle box. Could the break be on? Voltemada, he's brought down from behind. Referee's tried to play an advantage. He'll come back. And Voltemada, I think, has done really well in a couple of tight spots, Dean, to help his team get down the field.
He has, because he's up against the two centre-backs, and when he comes short into the midfield area, Anagiza is just sat there at the base of the midfield looking to take it off his toes. But like I said, he's got such great awareness in that first touch.
Ball played out wide for Gordon. Takes it down nicely on the left. Can he find a cross? He drives towards the edge of the penalty area. Goes past one but can't get past the second. Athletic Club defender. And the ball now the pass went one way, the runner went the other, and Joe Linton will bring it back. Gordon gets another go. A little step over. Dan Burn overlaps, but I don't think Athletic Club were really taken by his run. Here's Malik Chow in the centre circle. He'll spread it wide on the Newcastle right. They lead by a goal to nil. Manchester City have gone 2-0 up. I'm here, and I'll get you the score in a moment. Cross from Barnes, deflected above Voltemada, and he got up high. He just couldn't plant it in the far corner. Voltemada, maybe the deflection just caught him out there, but that was a good chance for the Newcastle centre forward.
Yeah, they played it well down the right hand side. It was a great ball in from Barnes, and you're just thinking, as that bleached hair flops back, you just think the forehead's going to come forwards and it's going to find the back of the net, and it was just the flight that he misjudged. He was just behind it, and then he stretched slightly with the header but couldn't get the direction, and it more skimmed off his head rather than powering off it.
Yeah, 1-0 here over on Talksport. It is Manchester City 2, Borussia Dortmund 0. Phil Foden got the first goal. No prizes for guessing who got the second. Erling Haaland on the scoreboard for Manchester City, and it's 2-0 over on Talksport right now. I think the ball's gone flat. That's a bit of a problem. Anthony Gordon just picked it up and chucks it towards the fourth official on the near side.
Well, interesting that Anthony Gordon made that decision himself.
I think the referees just said, hang on, you really should have asked me about that before you picked it up.
Yeah, but we know, as players, we know. The minute you touch it, we know whether it's flat or not.
Yeah, here's Tonali will get it away for Malik Chow. 1-0, Newcastle lead. Dan Burns' goal here. Mentioned that triple header of action tomorrow. 5:45 Sturm Graz Nottingham Forest in the Europa League live on Talksport 2. And then we've got a double header at 8 o'clock. Aston Villa against Maccabi Tel Aviv. That'll be with Jim Proudfoot and Andy Townsend, the former Villa skipper, our team there. And on Talksport 2 will be at Selhurst Park as Palace look to bounce back from a disappointment last time out in the Conference League. They take on AZ Alkmaar in front of Ollie Klink and the former Palace midfielder Darren Ambrose. Here, 1-0 Newcastle. Tonali's ball, well, Tonali was sure that it had a hand, but referee waves it away, and Athletic Club will play it forward. They're looking to get in behind Trippier on the far side. Berenguer does keep the ball in wide on the left-hand side. Only Gomez waits in the middle. Seemed a little bit reluctant to put the ball into him. He's not the biggest centre forward in the world. Ball works its way out here now to Arezzo. Now they go back, and it's a bit of keep ball from Athletic Club. We had just over half an hour. They've been pretty good so far, shown us some of their biggest stars, but they've come in and given a good account of themselves, and they'll be hoping to get back on level terms here as they move the ball in field. Neat play, ball over the top. Arezzo's going to chase it, but not for the first time tonight. Nick Pope out quickly, just wouldn't go over his line in the penalty box, so he has to volley it out softly for a throw in near side.
But when they do get it down and pop it around, Athletic Club, they have looked very good, technically gifted. They really are. Maybe not the strongest or the biggest, certainly, looking at this Newcastle side, but they've caused some problems in the way that they've kept the ball.
Yeah, they have. Although they've just given it away from a throw-in. I mean, we've got to remember that the three players in their squad with the most experience in terms of goal scoring are all missing tonight in Europe. You know, their top three men are out, and that's going to be a hammer blow to any team.
It would be, yeah. You take that out of any team. You took that out of Newcastle's team, it would look very different. And I think they've done a very good job at just trying to combat that with a team ethic tonight so far at St James's Park. Yeah, ball sliced out by Tonali. We've got 13 minutes to go to the break. Mark Wilson with a former West Ham and England man, Dean Ashton here. And Unai Simon has it in front of his own penalty area. He plays it out wide, and Athletic Club will work it towards halfway. Trippier's always looking to get a foot in, and he does get a foot in, wins it. And now ball with Barnes. Barnes drives past one, but it's cleared away by Paredes. And now the ball on halfway again for the visitors, who cut in field here as Newcastle retreat back inside their own half. Now a run forward from Arezzo. The two fullbacks do like to get forward, but they've not been given the ball just yet in an attacking position. Ball on the edge of the centre circle with Paredes. He floats the ball forward, but Newcastle sat back in their shape. Now a quicker pass forward, tries to find the feet of Rego. He's lost out. Ball played forward. They're appealing for a free kick 25 yards out, but the referee's waved it away. Malik Chow almost got caught in possession, edge of his own box, but he gets it away to Guimarães, who says to Trippier, off you go down the right-hand side, and he's sprinting forward.
There are a couple of Newcastle subs warming up quite extensively down away to our right. I'm just wondering if someone's carrying a bit of a bump here, because they are going through a pretty tough warm-up. Here's Gordon down to the left, tries to go past his man, but Navarro, who's an attacking player, does really well to get back and defend. Now, can he clear his lines? Well, the answer is no. He's giving it straight to Joe Linton. Joe Linton will feed Sandro Tonali. Tonali, 30 yards out from goal, keeps the ball, draws the foul. He's just too quick for Navarro. That was an attacker's challenge there on Sandro Tonali.
Yeah, he's been one of the best players for Newcastle, Tonali, so far this season. In terrific form. Lovely awareness of where the opposition was starting to close in on him. Just did a little pirouette, bit of footwork to gain the free kick.
Well, they scored from a free kick in a pretty similar position on the far side of the field. That was on the right. This is on the left. It's just outside the left-hand side of the penalty area. It's 30 yards out from goal. Tonali and Trippier are there. Dan Burn, once again, is loitering on the edge of the penalty area. He'll be hoping he can plant another header in like he did on 11 minutes that gave Newcastle the lead. And it will be Trippier that will take it. So it's going to be an in-swinger. Unai Simon will be hoping nobody in front of him gets a touch on this, or he could be in trouble, the goalkeeper. All in orange, 5 yards off his line. The Bilbao fans high up in the stand away to the left. There's an opportunity for Trippier and Newcastle to extend their lead. Here comes the delivery again. It's another good ball. Oh, Burn was chasing it. It was just a fraction too high. He got free as well, Dan Burn. And that was dangerous there, but thankfully for Athletic Club it goes behind still 1-0.
Oh, well, he's one of the best, isn't he, Trippier? At just hitting an area with pace and power from those free kicks, and then all it would have taken is a touch. It's just sometimes in that crowded area, can you get free? If you can't, the ball will be too quick for you to get to, and that was the case there.
Yeah, it was indeed. You are listening to Newcastle against Athletic Club in the Champions League, live on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it. Book now at enterprise.co.uk. Ball played forward, picked up by Joe Linton, tries to feed it to Gordon, and he's just beaten to it by Arezzo. Knocks it back to his keeper, who knocks it long. But you've got to feel sorry for that front three for Athletic Club, because when you're getting a ball like that and you've got Dan Burns, Sven Botman and Malik Chow waiting for it, you're not going to get much joy, are you, in the air?
Not really. You're just a stander by. When the ball's in the air, you can tell they get their joy from playing through and down the sides of Newcastle.
Yeah. Here is Barnes over on the left for Newcastle, who lead by a 1-0. 36 on the clock, live on Talksport 2. Here's Botman, brings it forward, slides the ball to Voltemada. Again, his first touch is good. Just had that one chance with a header, didn't he, Nick Voltemada? He didn't quite get enough of it. Just put it the wrong side of the post. But he's worked hard. He's held the ball up nicely for Newcastle. He's allowed them to get forward. As Malik Chow comes forward now for Newcastle. He's closed down, and now the press will begin in earnest. Chow will get it away to Botman on the near side. Botman goes to Dan Burn. Burn cuts in field, lays it back. He's done well actually there. He's bought Botman a bit of time, and he will spread it across field to Trippier. Trippier will have to head it back to his goalkeeper. I'm not sure quite that was the plan, but he gets it back to Pope, and all is well for Newcastle.
But they have struggled to play out. They've struggled to get through the press, and it's looked a little bit edgy really at times.
Half-time in the early kickoffs in the Championship. Preston 1, Swansea 0, QPR 0, Southampton 0, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Norwich 0, and Portsmouth 0, Wrexham 0. That one is still got about 7 minutes left at Portsmouth. Slightly delayed kick-off there. Here it's 1-0 across on Talksport. It's Manchester City 2, Dortmund 0. Chelsea surprisingly held in Kazakhstan earlier on. 2-2 by Karabakh. Nice bit of football. Finds Voltemada, who's on the left. Barnes is trying to hold his run. Gordon and Joe Linton are waiting. They're looking for the crossfield ball for Joe Linton. It's just too far in front of him. He was in space, he was in behind, but there was too much juice on the pass. But everyone at St James's Park in black and white appreciated the effort that was made on that pass.
Yeah, they may well appreciate it, but it was pretty poor from Guimaraes. No pressure at all. Really easy crossfield pass to Joe Linton, who was totally free, and just put too much on it. Those are the moments at this level you need to do better.
Yeah, when you get someone in space, and he was clear in space there, wasn't he? Anything he can get a touch on, he's in on goal. 1-0 it remains. Ball headed away by Tiao, hook forward. Dan Burn will clear it away. It's picked up. Gordon needs to respond quickly. Areso is sprinting down this near side. Tried to put an early cross and it comes off Gordon. It's behind for a corner.
Well, I mean, Gordon's quick and he's got lots of energy and he won't shy away from work. But Areso has been brilliant. He really has got an engine and he's quick, stocky, full-back. He's got himself forward at every opportunity and he's really tested Gordon.
Yeah, he's not hanging around, is he? If he gets a chance to go, he's going.
He's got his hands on his hips, he's blowing, he's putting a proper shift in, the right back.
Yes, here's Berenger with a corner in front of the Gallagher end. Dangerous delivery, no. Pope comes and collects. Commanding goalkeeping from the Newcastle #1, and he bowls it out looking for Trippier. The break could be on here if they can find Barnes over halfway. Barnes has it. Tonali, Guimarães, Voltemada and Gordon looking to get into the box. Ball fed for Tonali. Keeper coming out, won't get there. Tonali gets it, but now he needs to find a cross. He crosses towards Voltemada, headed away. He'll fall for Gordon, who skies it over the bar. The flag again has gone up. I think Tonali's run maybe was a fraction too early. Again, it wouldn't have counted, but Newcastle didn't know that, and that was a chance for Gordon.
Yeah, it was a side volley. Difficult technique, of course, to keep down. But again, he's got to do better, Gordon. Good play down the right-hand side. Tonali with the late run, just offside. And when he clipped it in, Voltemada didn't win the header, but Gordon's attempt flashes over, and then he goes down holding his groin area.
Yeah, the referee's asked for the physio to come on, so the first time really tonight we've got a stoppage 40 minutes in, and Anthony Gordon is in a bit of discomfort here. He's not moved since his volley went over the bar. He just laid down, and he's still laying down now. Physio's just had a look over to the bench. We mentioned there were some Newcastle subs warming up, and there is a bit of activity. We can't see through the roof, but it looks like Newcastle might be forced into a bit of a change here. The fourth official is typing some numbers into his board right now.
Well, they've already announced it, so I think it's
Murphy.
He's going to come on for Gordon, who's obviously felt something. I think he felt it actually when he went back and defended against Areso.
Okay, well, you mentioned that Barnes would like a go on the left. You'd imagine now that is going to change, that Barnes will come across to the near side and Jacob Murphy will play over on the right-hand side.
Yes, yeah, exactly that. And Barnes secretly will be delighted with that, I think.
Yeah, well, good for Gordon, who makes way. He's been in good form in the Champions League for Newcastle, but won't add to his tally of goals. Scored in all 3 games so far this year. But he trudges off straight down the tunnel as well, I think, as Tonali tries to win a header on the edge of his own penalty area. 1-0 Newcastle lead here. So Murphy, who got the goal at the weekend, and already that switch has been made. He's stationed over on the right, and Harvey Barnes has come over to the left-hand side. Voltemada splitting the pair across the field. Ball played into the centre circle. Rego has it. Ball now played over the top. They're looking to get Gomez in, but Trippier with a header, and again it's just got enough on it to get it all the way through to Nick Pope.
Yeah, that's been something they've looked for quite often, isn't it, Gomez? Just that little clip over the top of one of the centre-backs. He has got a reasonable amount of pace.
Yeah, ball played over the top looking for Joe Linton, who charges down the clearance. He's in on goal. Joe Linton, great save. Simon back to Joe Linton. He side-footed it over. It was a tight angle, but Joe Linton there with a goal at his mercy couldn't keep the shot down. Huge chance for Newcastle, and that one would have counted.
Yeah, I mean, clipped over the top. Didn't know a lot about it. It fell over his head. Got so lucky that the defender hit it against him. Fell perfectly for him. And he was looking as if he was going to just try and side foot it, curl it past Simon, who came out really quickly, I have to say, and stuck out a big left leg to make the save. And then it was handball anyway, but he half volleyed over the second attempt. I watched Joe Linton in the warm-up. He was absolutely brilliant in front of goal, whipping it in the top corners for fun. In the games, he's just not got that confidence, has he, in front of goal, that his ability would let him.
No. Remember, he came here as a striker, didn't he? He's now a midfielder, and he's doing pretty well in that role, but he still would want more goals. We're approaching half-time, 2 minutes left of the 45. Here now comes Athletic Club, deep cross, and it's over the top of the attacker Gomez. It bounces once, and Nick Pope relieved to see it go the right side of the post. As far as he's concerned, still 1-0.
Yeah, excellent defending from Botman. Read the flight of the ball as an attacker. You think you're just about to go and head it, and then a clever defender like Botman there just steps in front of you, and you just run into them, and the ball goes flying over your head. It's that early look at the flight which is so important.
Yeah, ball long again. Murphy the runner this time. It'll be chested down and away from him. Hook forward, flicked on towards halfway. Tonali will bring it down on his thigh. He played it forward there. That looks to be coming together with Barnes. He wanted a free kick. Referee doesn't get one, but Newcastle will get a throw in after a wild pass over on the far side.
And just as we approach half time, I think there'll be a lot that Eddie Howe will have to say to his players to try and get a bit more flow and momentum in the game.
Well, they might get a chance. They tried to play Murphy in on goal. It didn't find him, but Voltemada picks up a loose pass. Ball played first time by Tonali. Finds Barnes. Barnes brings it down now. Advances forward. Looks for the give and go with Joe Linton. Gets it back on his right foot. Was he fouled? Falls to Tonali. Referee's trying to play advantage. Well, he's played advantage here. I think Newcastle would rather have the free kick. Here's Tonali down by the byline. Drills it in. Cleared away. And now the ball will be cleared out by Athletic Club, who maybe dodged one there as Joe Linton tries to win it back on the edge of the area, but Athletic Club bring it forward and play it nicely. There'll be a little bit of discontent had they gone up the other end and scored, because I think with hindsight, and it's always hindsight, maybe it should have given a free kick.
Well, again, it's just a little bit of common sense, really. The referee's got to realise that was such a great position to have a free kick in, and there wasn't really much of an advantage as he went across the side of the pitch. So, a bit unfortunate Newcastle there, especially when you got Trippier in your ranks.
Yeah, I think as soon as Tonali didn't have the shot, he could have pulled it up there. But anyway, 2 minutes of added on time here at St James's Park, and now a free kick for a push. And again, a little bit frustrated Athletic Club. Alejandro Rego is deemed to have made the foul, and then the ball kicked away, and the referee just saying, come on, get on with it. 1-0 Newcastle lead. We're into the 2 added on minutes live on Talksport 2. Guimaraes tries to get the ball away to Murphy. He's asked a lot of him. Ball back to Unai Simon. Murphy will close him down. Simon plays it forward, and it's flicked on there. Good header from Gomez, but nobody really committing to the running behind him, and Pope will get the ball back.
Well, no surprise, because I don't think he's going to win it, and then he did. And and Navarro just thought, maybe I should have gambled.
Yeah, it is a tough one, that, isn't it? Because he's very rarely had any kind of touch on the ball, those high balls, but he did win that one, but nobody on the end of it. Inter Milan have taken the lead against Karat in their game. That's approaching half time as well. Martinez with a goal just before the break. Club Brugge still lead Barcelona by 2-1. All here with Dan Burn. Burn lays it back. Last year 11 points was enough to get into the qualification spots for the knockout stages. Newcastle with a win here would go on to 9, but it's still only 1-0, and Guimaraes again, his touch was poor. He's given it away, and it might be a late chance.
He's had a smelly half, and Guimaraes not done a lot right, really. When the ball's come into him, he's lost it 3 or 4 times, and then when he's had a chance to play a good pass, it's been either miss-hit or cut out.
Yeah, ball played forward, it'll go to nobody, it runs through the pot. I think we should say, maybe in his defence, I'm not a big excuse maker, but I think he has missed training all week with illness, so we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. The half-time whistle does blow here. Newcastle leading the Athletic Club by 1-0, and a wonderful goal it was as well. Trippier's free kick from the right. Dan Burn, he must have been 15, 16 yards out. He's hit it flush on his forehead and curled it in the top corner, just kissed the inside of the post. A great header, keeper no chance. That gave Newcastle the lead, slightly against the run of play. Then Athletic Club had a couple of really good chances. Gomez was denied by Pope and the post to get it behind for a corner, and then Boiro, the fullback, hit an absolute sledgehammer of a shot on 19 minutes that had everybody beaten, but it cannoned back off the post. Joe Linton had a late chance, a good one as well, for Newcastle to double the lead, but he couldn't put it into the back of the net. So at the break, Newcastle lead Athletic Club by 1-0. think Eddie Howe will be reasonably happy, Dean Ashton, but I think also Ernesto Valverde will be pretty happy as well, the way his team have had a go at this.
He'll feel a little hard done by, to be honest, that they've come here and been really positive. They've pressed Newcastle, they've pressed them into mistakes, and they've created a couple of chances. Hit the woodwork twice, especially Barrow's effort could easily have gone into the back of the net. And obviously they've conceded a sloppy goal from a set play. I've actually been quite disappointed in Newcastle, especially going forwards. I can see why they've been struggling this season for goals, because they haven't been able to get their forward players into the game quite as much. Struggled and found it sticky to play out from the back as well. So I just wonder what Eddie Howe will say at half-time that can maybe just change things in the second half.
Yeah, Anthony Gordon going off. They'll be hoping that's nothing too serious. Jacob Murphy coming on. So I mentioned earlier, no Will Asula tonight, so they won't want to be without Gordon for any length of time. Not really. But then again, I think that's an area they're covered quite well. You've still got Alanga on the bench as well. You've got Ramsey, who can play in a wide area, and Hall can play further forward. So I think that is one area actually they're pretty well covered. And Gordon didn't have a great half again. He's struggled to find real form this season for Newcastle. Interesting times. Will there be changes at the break? We'll find out in a few moments' time, because here on Talksport 2, live from the Champions League, it's a double header on Talksport 2 tonight. It's Newcastle United 1, Athletic Club 0.
Champions League live on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it. Book now at enterprise.co.uk.
When's the perfect moment to take that leap? With electric vehicles, that moment is now. The all-electric Leap Motor T03. Right now, with the Leap Grant, it's incredible value at 169 deposit and 169 per month with 0% APR, with amazing tech and spec too. Leap Motor. It's time to leap. Search Leap Motor T03. Personal contract purchase, mint green, T03, 48 months, optional final payment 5675. Leap Motor is credit broker, not in lender, subject to status. T&Cs still out as financial services.
At Morrison's, we've been stocking up on festive tipples, so you can get a 1 litre bottle of Bombay Sapphire Gin for just £21. Don't mind if I do. Morrison's, making more of Christmas. Majority of stores in England and Wales exclude Scotland. Offers and prices may vary online, and Morrison's Daily was £23, ends 9th of November. Please drink responsibly.
This is Josh. Josh is happy. He's just bought a brand spanking new TV. What he doesn't know is he could have bought a premium TV without spending a fortune. You see, Hisense's award-winning TVs come with premium features like Mini LED, Quantum Dot and Dolby Atmos, but don't cost the earth. Josh is sad. Sorry, Josh. Choose smarter. Choose Hisense. Rated 5-star for reliability by Which?
Breakfast is the most important meal of the day, followed by 11s, brunch, lunch or dinner, then tea or dinner, or supper, depending where you're from. Look, can we at least agree that breakfast is the most important meal of the day? That's why Warburton's, the family bakers, teamed up with organisations like Magic Breakfast to donate millions of breakfasts this year to schools in the UK. Good stuff. It's baked in at Warburton's. To find out more, search Warburton's Good Stuff.
With super-fast USB-C sockets from BG Electrical, everything gets a lot faster, including this advert. Here we go. Only joking. If you're an electrician or looking to update your sockets, super-fast USB-C sockets give your power-hungry devices a head start. With integrated USB-C and A charging ports, you don't just charge, you supercharge. Visit bgelectrical.uk to find out more.
It's finally happened. I found it.
Found what?
The perfect Mini. And it's part of the Mini Stock event.
The what now?
The Mini Stock event. Unmissable savings on in-stock models, on top of existing offers. But I've got to move fast because when it's gone, it's gone.
Go get it, pal.
The Mini Stock event. Unmissable offers 6th to the 10th of November at your local Mini retailer. Available on new Mini stock orders placed during the stock event and registered by 31st of December 2025. Visit mini.co.uk/stock event.
The Fan Network Show on Talksport 2. Every Thursday night, make Talksport 2 your ultimate destination for the UK's best fan-led football conversation. Featuring all the teams from across all the major divisions. Discover a league of unbeatable club-dedicated fan opinion. The Fan Network Show. every Thursday night on Talksport 2 with Sky Sports. Stream a massive month of sport this November on Sky Sports with a Now month membership.
Fabulous stuff.
18 plus. Stream via internet. Terms apply.
Talksport 2, official broadcast partner of the Premier League.
Engage with an out-of-this-world Friday night of Championship football on Talksport 2.
Strap yourself in for Watford's encounter with Bristol City.
Countdown begins at 7 with blast-off at 8.
It's a Friday night event horizon of live and exclusive Championship football on Talksport 2. That's just gone supernova. Wonderful.
Talksport Podcast League. Outspoken with White and Jordan.
The best of White and Jordan is now available in one unmissable daily podcast.
So you've got a perfect storm.
From the top flight to the big fight, get opinionated debate that's always on the ball.
Time to hire somebody who can win.
And on the money.
This is a long way from a done deal.
Outrageous.
Outstanding.
Outspoken. It's hard to say that, but it's the truth.
Out now.
Listen or download for free on the Talksport app or from your favourite podcast portal.
Passion, heartbreak, glory, despair, triumph.
And they're back in the game!
The Champions League live.
What a finish!
On Talksport 2.
Trippier stood over it. He's going to swing the ball in. Floats it now towards the far post. Burn arrives with a header. Oh, what a header! Dan Burn! 12 yards out of the far post. And he arrows it in. It curls right inside the top corner.
Well, not many could do this with their feet, let alone their head. But it is big Dan Burn that peeled to the back post.
Dan Burn with another memorable Newcastle goal. Newcastle 1, Athletic Club 0. Yeah, Dan Burn's great header sees Newcastle in front at half-time. But work's still to be done in the second half. Second half commentary on the way. Newcastle 1, Athletic Club 0. Earlier on in the Champions League, right here on Talksport, Karabakh 2, Chelsea 2. Chelsea who led but didn't win on their travels. Long journey home for them tonight. Joy for Paphos. They beat Villarreal by 1-0 in the early kickoff. In the 8 o'clock kickoffs, Ajax 0, Galatasaray 0, Benfica 0, Bayer Leverkusen 0. Club Bruges provided a bit of an upset. They lead Barcelona by 2-1. Inter Milan lead Kara by 1-0. Manchester City 2-0 up against Borussia Dortmund. That's live right now over on Talksport. Goals for Phil Foden and for Erling Haaland. And Marseille 0, Atalanta 0. Into the Championship, where I've got 4 games tonight. Preston North End on a decent run. They lead Swansea by 2-0. QPR 0, Southampton 0, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Norwich 0. They're all into the second half, and Portsmouth 0, Wrexham 0 is a half-time score. It's another busy night. This game brought to you in partnership with TNT Sports, the home of European football, and it's been a brilliant week of European action. 3 games last night, 3 games tonight, and the feast of European football continues on the Talksport header tomorrow on the network tomorrow evening, as we've got yet another triple header.
Gibbs White from the spot in the first half. Jesus from the spot in the second. And Nottingham Forest lead by 2-0.
What if Sean Dyche is one of these guys who turns out to be totally made for Europe?
I wasn't naive enough to think it's all fixed because of Thursday, although it was a very good performance against a good side. Certainly not naive enough to think it's a walk in the park, because it's not.
Comes from again, and he sweeps Aston Villa into a 2-0 lead.
He will luckily a competition that he knows how to win, Jeff, the Europa League.
You have to try to get 3 points to be again contender to be in the top 8.
Pino back for Sarr, chance for 2. He's taking it brilliantly.
We want to go far in the Conference League, and therefore we need to play our best player.
3 more European games to get stuck into tomorrow night. Sturm Graz, Nottingham Forest, 5:45, 8 o'clock. Villa against Maccabi Tel Aviv. That's over on Talksport. And we're here on Talksport 2. Palace against AZ Alkmaar in the Conference League. So more Europa League action tomorrow night over on Talksport as Aston Villa hosts Maccabi Tel Aviv. And Villa boss Unai Emery has his eyes firmly on achieving a top 8 finish in the competition.
You have to try to get tomorrow 3 points to be again contender to be in the top 8, and through it to avoid 1 round. But of course, I know it's difficult, and we have to to be aware about how we lost the last match against Go Ahead Eagles and how we must correct things tomorrow. Of course, playing at home with a supporter will be a little bit different as well. Everything, how the supporters support us and help us. And this is the real objective, to win tomorrow and try to be in the top 8 minimum.
Yeah, Aston Villa looking to bounce back after that disappointing loss in the Netherlands last time out, beaten by Go Ahead Eagles. You can find out how they get on against Maccabi Tel Aviv in the Europa League tomorrow night, live on Talksport. Natalie Sawyer will be with Jim Proudfoot and the former Villa captain Andy Townsend. Same time tomorrow night here on Talksport 2, we'll be at Selhurst Park. Conference League action as Crystal Palace face AZ Alkmaar. Surely you'll hear from the Palace defender Maxence Lacroix, but first here's their manager Oliver Glasner, who's going all out to win the competition.
Yes, we always play the strongest team, but that doesn't mean it's always the same players. So we had 5 new players against Liverpool 1 week ago at the Anfield, we have 18 fit on-field players available, so that means it's just not possible to change 10, just even from the numbers. And so I don't know if Alkmaar is changing 10 players tomorrow, because I think that's one of the biggest teams in the Netherlands. So why should we do it? We want to go far in the Conference League, and therefore we need to play our best players.
No, I was referring to the big teams from England who played in the Conference League. I think they.
Yeah, I think you were just talking about Chelsea last year, because I remember West Ham, when they won the Europa League, they always played the same team, because I know them because 1 year before we played them with Frankfurt in the Europa League. And when you have a squad like Chelsea, 42 players, you can do it. If you have 18, quite difficult.
The DNA of this team, we have a lot of character, and this is what we showed. I remember when we lose against City last year and Arsenal, we lose 2 times 5 goals, but after we won the FA Cup. So I think this is the DNA of this team, the good spirit, and this is what we show it.
Yeah, Maxence Lacroix and Oliver Glasner speaking ahead of Crystal Palace against AZ Alkmaar in the Conference League tomorrow night. It's live on Talksport 2 with Ollie Klink and the former Crystal Palace midfielder Darren Ambrose. Dean Ashton alongside me here at St James's Park. Newcastle leading by a goal to 0. Is it fair to say, Dean, that maybe England's football snobbery is changing? Because we used to, so I'm sure a lot of people looked at the Conference League and the Europa League and nah, it's not the Champions League, is it? But all of a sudden now, we've seen West Ham win it, and all of a sudden everyone else, likes a Palace, an opportunity to win a European title.
Well, because it's opened up to more of the teams in the Premier League, and teams that European football is something very, very special, or something that they're tasting for the first time, certainly for certain generations. And I mean, how can you not enjoy watching it as a neutral and seeing what it means actually to the supporters?
Yeah,
to be able to have those European nights away, to travel to support their teams, and I'm glad that we're starting to really embrace that.
And I think obviously the fact that you win one, it lifts you up into the next one. That's an added incentive for the clubs themselves, isn't it?
Absolutely, and because of how strong the Premier League is, any team that does qualify for these European competitions, as we've shown in recent seasons with the English teams getting to the finals and winning it, that you have got a genuine chance. Crystal Palace will have a genuine chance to win a European trophy.
It will indeed. Tomorrow night then, Sturm Graz, Nottingham Forest, live from 5:45 on Talksport 2 in the Europa League. Alex Crook with the former Forest defender Luke Chambers. 8 o'clock, you've got a choice. Aston Villa, Maccabi Tel Aviv is in the Europa League, live on Talksport with Jim Proudfoot and the former Villa captain Andy Townsend was here on Talksport 2. It's Palace against Alkmaar, live in the Conference League. Ollie Klink and the former Palace man Darren Ambrose. And then on Friday, we're back to the bread and butter of the EFL. Talksport 2, your home of the EFL. Watford against Bristol City, live in the Championship. Hughes and Croft, Jim Proudfoot, the former Wolves and Palace coach Sean Derry for that one. We're back underway here at Newcastle. Ball played forward by Newcastle, who are attacking the Gallowgate end. Dan Burns' header goes out for a throw. Let me give you the lineup. So Nick Pope is in goal. Trippier, Chow, Botman and Byrne at the back. Joe Linton, Tonali and Guimaraes across the middle. Jacob Murphy on in place of the injured Anthony Gordon. He's alongside Voltemada and Barnes up top. And for the visitors, Simon in goal, Boiro, Paredes, Vivian and Areso at the back. Areguizar, Rego and Vesgar across the middle, with Berenguer, Gomez and Navarro leading the line. We're watching Eddie Howe. He's stood up looking on, and Ernesto Valverde's adopted the Bielsa position as he's crouched right down on the edge of his technical area, looking on as his side launch a long throw, but the referee's not happy it was taken from the right side of the field. What do you think Valverde will have said to his side at half-time, Dean?
He'll have been pleased. He'll obviously be probably pretty gutted, as will the players, that they were behind at half-time, but he'll want much of the same, and to have the same energy and team ethic that they had. As Gomez tries to take an effort from all of 40 yards that had absolutely no pace on it whatsoever, but I think he'll be expecting more of the same from his side. Maybe just a bit more belief, actually, when they do get into the final third.
Yeah, well, 1-0 Newcastle lead. From their point of view, the sooner they can get the second goal, the better, but I have to say the visitors have had some good chances in that first half. They hit the post a couple of times. They came close, but not close enough to get in an equaliser. Here is one of the men who had the shot in that first half. Boiro plays it short from the throw, and he'll get it back now. He's looking to turn and twist and does well in a tight spot, and earns another throw-in off Murphy down by the Newcastle dugout. People still coming back from their half-time refreshments here at St James's Park. I'm looking around, I cannot see an empty seat in this stadium. It is the hottest ticket in town for sure. As Athletic Club play it forward. Gomez was in a wrestling match with Thiaw. The ball rolls through and Trippier pick it up.
I mean, it's not been what we would have expected in terms of a Newcastle performance, an onslaught, intensity, trying to overpower the opposition. They've been reasonably flat in the performance. They've yet to really use the crowd and build any momentum in their games. It's just tiny moments still for Newcastle.
Yeah, I was here in the Premier League earlier in the season. They beat Wolves by a goal to nil. They led 1-0 at half-time, had really heavy work of it second half. Can they make light work of it? Here's Murphy on the edge of the area, whips in a ball. It goes all the way across here. It'll go to Barnes, left-footed shot, and it comes off the defender there, Vivian. It goes back to Newcastle, back to Barnes, onto his left foot, stands up the cross. Joe Linton heads it in from close range. Dream start to the second half for the Toon. Joe Linton celebrates in front of the Gallowgate end. He's got Newcastle second. It's Newcastle 2, Athletic Club 0.
Proper wing play, wasn't it, from Harvey Barnes? He had his attempt with his right foot, it got blocked, he came back to him, and then it was old school wing play. Dribbling, checking back, acceleration of pace, and then a really clever ball in. He just fed it in towards the 6-yard line with a bit of height, not much pace, just hoping somebody was there. Somebody had made a run, and Joe Linton from that midfield area just got himself free. He couldn't miss. It was such a good ball in from Barnes that Joe Linton, all he had to do was plant the header past Simon for 2-0.
That makes things much, much easier for Newcastle now, leading by 2-0. Two great headers, 2 goals. Newcastle leading, looking for a third successive win. And Joe Linton might have fluffed his lines earlier in the first half, but he made no mistake from close range there. And they all count. Newcastle 2, Athletic Club 0.
And it's so important when you have one centre forward that at least one of the midfield players makes a run into the box when the ball is wide. So important not to just stand outside the area. Brilliant run from Joe Linton. Just made sure he got in between the centre-backs, and then you're just hoping the ball is there. And Barnes does it perfectly.
Well, Botman's given it away, bringing it out, but Thiaw's won it straight back, and he's going sprinting up towards halfway. Just lays the ball off for Barnes. And Barnes back in that more comfortable role for him on the left, and really did well there for Joe Linton. And it is 2-0. And Newcastle looking for a vital third win in their Champions League campaign. They were beaten at home on match day 1 by Barcelona by 2-1, but since then they've been pretty good. As Trippier battles and wins the battle, and then, did that go out? I thought it did. Referee said it didn't. Eventually, would have been a throw in about 30 yards from goal. It's now a goal kick. It spun all the way down the line and will roll out. Tonali acts as ball boy and gives it to Nick Pope.
Well, I think now that they've got that second goal, you are looking really at Athletic Club saying, have they got enough? Let alone to get 1 goal, but to get 2 seems a big ask with the players that are missing for them in the forward areas. So it's about Newcastle's performance from now on.
Newcastle 2, Athletic Club 0. Norwich have got an equaliser at Hillsborough. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Norwich 1. Kvistgaarden with a goal for the Canaries there, who desperately need a result. Here's Murphy wide on the right, surrounded, but wins a throw in. And it'll be interesting now what Athletic Club have got mentally, having conceded so early in the second half. A hammer blow to their chances. They're staring a 3rd defeat out of 4 in the Champions League so far. Going to get a long throw from Trippier. Now, no, he's going to play it short in the end. Guimaraes shows for it, lays it back to Trippier. First time ball in, headed away. Tonali is acting as the last defender, and he was beaten momentarily, but Joe Linton athletically got back and gets the ball back to Nick Pope. 2-0 then, Newcastle lead. 2-0 Manchester City lead. That's over on Talksport right now. Goals for Haaland and Foden for City. Here now is Tonali. That's a beautiful pass. It's played Murphy into space. Murphy looks up, tries to play it into Joe Linton, and it's sliced behind by Vivian at the expense of a corner. He didn't really know where that was going. It was more hope that he got in the way, and he puts it behind for a Newcastle corner.
Well, that's much better, isn't it, from Newcastle? A lot more direct, rather than just trying to play out. It's a quick switch of play out towards Murphy, and he's got exactly the right idea. Can he play that ball in, fizz that in behind the Athletic Club defence for Joe Linton, who was making the run again? It must be something that was talked about at half-time, of him getting closer to Voltemada and getting himself in the box, and it was Vivian with a terrific clearance, actually, facing his own goal.
Yeah, it was indeed. Now the corner going to be swung in over on the far side. Barnes it is who's stood over it. Voltemada, Guimaraes in the 6-yard box. Referee's watching for any pushing. Ball driven towards Byrne at the far post. Byrne will head it back into the 6-yard box, and it's headed towards goal by Botman. And the keeper, Simon, clutches it just underneath the crossbar.
Yeah, cleverly worked. Set play. Trippier just pinging it to the far post where Dan Byrne was free to head it back. And then it was Botman and Voltemada sort of fighting each other. Botman it was that angled his neck correctly just to head it towards goal, but not enough power on the header to trouble Simon.
Still 2-0, but Newcastle made a great start second half. 8 gone, you're live on Talksport 2 in the second half as Byrne crunches into the challenge, but the ball breaks though. Forward for Berringer, he'll get it out on the near side. Navarro cuts in, looking for the give and go potentially on the edge of the box, but more black and white shirts in attendance means that Byrne can get it away to Tonali. Finds Murphy, who wins the throw in, and Newcastle will get it back midway inside their own half. But a perfect start for Eddie Howe. He couldn't have asked for any more than that, could he?
No, and I think they've come out with a bit more purpose, haven't they, in the second half? I know it's easy to say because they've got the goal, but I think their all-round play has got a bit more purpose and urgency about it than it did in the first half, where they were trying to play out a little bit too much and a bit slow and pedestrian. They're switching the play quickly, as they are now again, with Thiaw out to Byrne.
Yeah, Byrne pops up and gets it back here to Botman. Southampton have scored against Queen's Park Rangers. Southampton without a manager, leading at Queen's Park Rangers by 1-0. Portsmouth Wrexham underway second half, still no goals in that one. Still 2-0 here, still 2-0 at the Etihad as well for Manchester City against Borussia Dortmund. Ball with Newcastle. 10 gone second half. Ball looking for Joe Linton over the top, but the ball just too deep, and Unai Simon comes out and collects it. Paredes has it. It's hard now, isn't it, for Athletic Club? They're lacking their big attacking threats, and You just feel if they go chasing it too much, they'll get picked off. And here could be a chance. Voltemade lays it back for Guimaraes. 35 yards out from goal. He's looking for options. He's waiting for Byrne on the overlap. He'll find Barnes instead. Barnes keeps it in. He's now got Byrne with him. He'll run away from Byrne. Feed it back to Bruno Guimaraes. He slides it through. Byrne, can he square it? He lashed it. Went for goal. Well, he's got goal fever, Dan Byrne. He got one in the first half, but this finish didn't quite match the first one.
Well, I actually don't mind that if there wasn't quite the option in the penalty area for Dan Byrne. Just got himself back on side, took it on his left foot and just looking to strike towards the near post. Got it horribly wrong in the end, his angles. Really, he's got to work the goalkeeper at the very least from 7 or 8 yards out with no pressure on him.
Yeah, Simon will look to clear his lines. 2-0 Newcastle leads. You're listening to the Champions League live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, they're here for it. As Voltemade does well, he did well, and then he was rugby tackled. Now that will be a yellow card, and that is for Aitor Paredes, who's dragged away by the referee, and he can have no complaints whatsoever about that. Well, Voltemade is furious. It's more an arm round the waist rather than anything, but he's not happy.
No, it's I think it was just the little extras Paredes just gave Voltemade, I think, while he was on the floor, that he wasn't particularly happy with. He's terrific at that, though, isn't he, Voltemade? When it's tight and defenders on his back, he's able just to manipulate the ball out of the way.
Yeah, he's held it really well. Now there's going to be an opportunity for Trippier, who's probably just 10 yards over halfway on the right. There's a line of 6 black and white shirts on the edge of the penalty area, but they're going to square it to Sandro Tonali. He now will float it towards the far post, and they've overloaded that far post. They'll bring it down. Botman feeds Malik Thiaw. Malik Thiaw to the byline, has a touch, squared it. He was looking for Bruno Guimaraes. He'll get it back. He's tried to feed Joe Linton. It wasn't a good pass, that. And now the ball will be broke forward here by Athletic Club. They've given it away, but that's a couple of really well-worked set pieces from Newcastle.
Yeah, it is. It was clever, wasn't it? Whatever tapping the shin pads means, that was that set play. So playing it into Tonali and then overloading the far side. Thiaw just took too long, I felt, to get that ball in. There was an opportunity straight away. Once he took a touch, he was crowded out.
Here's Murphy. His pass is blocked. Now there could be a chance for half a break here for Athletic Club, but they've given it away again. Their passing's just letting them down at the moment. Trippier, he'll find Joe Linton. First time pass for Bruno Guimaraes. First time pass finds Barnes. Barnes now heads off down the left. Murphy trying to drive into the box. Voltemade waits on the edge of the box. It's played out now for Murphy. Can he keep it in? If he can, he skies it. It's all to play for edge of the box, but it's headed away by Athletic Club. Tonali tidies it up and finds Bruno Guimaraes, and he finds Byrne. 2-0 live on Talksport 2 here to Newcastle United. Goals, headers from Burns and Joe Linton. And Joe Linton just giving it away on the edge of the Athletic Club box, and now it'll be cleared forward. And Botman will collect it, and he gets it away to Bruno Guimaraes, and Newcastle have it back, and they're starting to dominate now.
They are, yeah. I mean, they've really mixed up their play in the second half, Newcastle. They've played a lot longer, they switched the play quickly, but also the other thing that's improved is out of possession. As soon as Athletic Club get the ball, rather than allowing them the space to pass it around, they're snapping at them, they're winning the ball back quickly.
Ball played out to Jacob Murphy. He's asked a lot of Bruno Guimaraes, and he was helped out there because Guimaraes was bundled over as he went to get the ball. That was a little bit needless there from the visitors. They clearly had a chance to win that back fairly, and they opted to foul, and they've given away another free kick.
Yeah, and I think it's he won't want them to let up, Eddie Howe. He'll want a much better performance in the second half, but also at 2-0, a little bit longer maybe, and then he can make some changes and rest some players.
Yeah, I think a third goal would see a raft of changes. Ball played in, almost found Voltemade. It's hammered away for a throw. I'm just looking at Ernesto Valverde. He's going ballistic on the sideline. He's taking his coat off. He's getting a sweat on. He's that animated.
Well, he probably won't recognise this performance in the second half after they were so positive in the first, but I think that's more down to Newcastle's performance than his own team's, actually.
Yeah, his fourth spell in charge of the club. Tonali does well to keep it in on the left, gets it back off Byrne, overruns it. And now Athletic Club will look to play, but there's no real out ball for them at the moment. They just can't get anything going. We did wonder where the goals would come from, and at the moment it doesn't look like there are going to be any for the La Liga side. Here's Bruno Guimaraes, finds Murphy, tried to poke it forward. Again, there's a half chance of a break, but Gomez is being well wrapped up by Botman and Chow on halfway. Newcastle have conceded a free kick midway inside the half. Again, a little bit of pushing and shoving after the ball had gone dead, and just getting a bit fractious. Bilbao side are getting a little bit frustrated now.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult. The players are looking up, and you're right, Gomez is stood between the two centre-backs, whereas in the first half they had the time to get their heads up and play into midfield and bounce it off. That's just not there, and that's the Newcastle performance rather than anything else.
Yeah, no Inaki, no Nico Williams, and no Gorka Garatheta, who was travelled with the side but was ill in the build-up, and he was ruled out earlier on this afternoon. Ball played forward by Athletic Club. Here's Joe Linton looking to burst forward on halfway, drives through a challenge. He's got Barnes sprinting up to his left, feeds it to Barnes. Voltemada into the box. Barnes goes past one. He stumbles just as he's about to shoot or cross it, and eventually loses out there, and the chance is gone. And they get another one here because Tonali's won it straight back. Here's Dan Burn, encouraged to shoot from 30 yards, feeds it instead rather more sensibly to Barnes. And Newcastle, you feel now it's not a question of if they'll get a third goal, it's more a question of when they get a third goal.
Yeah, it does feel that way. Barnes just overrunning it, but they're starting to put a few nice patterns and triangles on that far side with Barnes, Burn, Guimaraes, Tonali, all combining. I'd just like to see Voltemada get a bit more involved, doesn't he, in the penalty area. He's had very, very little, just that one-headed opportunity. He's had very little other than that to really have a sight of goal.
Yeah, 2-0 here. Speaking of a third goal, Manchester City have got a third goal. It's the second for Phil Foden, a double for him and one for Erling Haaland. Manchester City 3, Borussia Dortmund 0, as Voltemada thought he got in down the side there. Not to be. There's been a couple of equalisers. Barcelona have equalised. Club Brugge 2, Barcelona 2. Inter Milan 1, Karat 1 as well. Bit of a surprise there. Galatasaray lead at Ajax by 1-0. Still 0-0 between Benfica and Bayer Leverkusen, and Marseille and Atalanta. And in the Championship, Preston 2, Swansea 0. QPR 1, Southampton 2. So a couple of goals there. 1-1 between Sheffield Wednesday and Norwich, and Portsmouth 0, Wrexham 0. Got a stoppage here. Is that Dan Burn that's gone down over on the far side?
Yeah, he has. Yeah. He's gone down, and it looks like Lewis Hall's going to come on for him, but also Miley looks like he's just been given the call back. So whether it's Guimaraes, you said, that had a bit of illness this week, might have run his race.
Yeah, well, Brentford away on Sunday for Newcastle. Then they've got Manchester City here after the international break. Then they're away at Marseille and away at Everton. That's what's on the horizon for Newcastle. We've already lost Anthony Gordon. He went off injured. And Burn is wandering off on the far side, and looks like changes afoot here as Hall is stripped and ready to go, and he will make his way onto the field. And Burn is going to get... Well, he's going to get the joy if he plays his cards right here, doing a bit of a lap of honour, isn't he, after that header earlier on?
And why not milk it if he does? Champions League goal in the back pocket. It's always nice, isn't it?
Yeah, and a cracking goal it was as well. Elanga also poised to go on, as is Miley, so it's going to be a triple substitution here for Newcastle.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if it is Voltemada. He's talked about giving him a break when he can. We'll see.
Yeah, here come the changes then. Dan Burn is off for Lewis Hall, so his night is done, but he will just trot across the pitch, Dan Burn. He's going to get a breather for the last 26 minutes here on Talksport 2. Bruno Guimaraes makes way for Miley. And the final change, we'll see Harvey Barnes come off. So I think he'll be a little bit disappointed his night has come to a shortened outcome, but he's played his part. The assist for Joe Linton's goal, and all in all a pretty decent night's work for Harvey Barnes.
Yeah, I think he will be disappointed because he was enjoying the second half out on that left hand side, but again, I would just see that as they're protecting him, ready for the weekend.
Well, certainly with Gordon picking up a knock, and maybe Eddie Howe just saying that to his players as they come off. A pat on the back and a high five. A triple change is made. Elanga, Miley and Hall come on. 2-0 here, 25 remaining. Goals for Dan Burn and Joe Linton, giving Newcastle a healthy lead at the moment. Not much coming back. Certainly Nick Pope's second half has barely seen the ball, let alone had a save to make. And now the long throw in is headed away, and Joe Linton down in the left back position gets it away. Tonali plays it forward, but it's over Voltemada, so Athletic Club will get it back. But they're going to have to go backwards here, and that was a risky pass, but one that pays off. Miley couldn't nick it back, but over on the far side, Lewis Hall will. Although the referee, I think, has blown up for a free kick just on halfway, so Athletic Club will get the free kick. 24 left. Interesting that Valverde's not made any changes yet.
No, and how will that upset things for Newcastle or not? Will it freshen things up?
Well, there's a chance into the penalty area. They thought they'd want to corner the visitors, but it rolls out for a goal kick. So goal kick for Nick Pope and Newcastle. Malik Chow and Kieran Trippier celebrate that little defensive win for Newcastle. Been indifferent in the Premier League for Newcastle, and the fact that they have picked up 3 wins in 4 early in their Champions League campaign. They're through to the quarter-finals for the 4th successive year in the League Cup, looking to defend that cup as well. All in all, the cup form's been decent, the league form less so. Here's Mesga gives it away, and it's a throw-in for Newcastle. What do you think the season holds for Newcastle United?
Well, I think again you're looking to build, aren't you, from the season before?
Well, they might be looking to get a 3rd goal here. Anthony Elanga's off on his back. He's popped up on the left. Oh, miscontrolled it, just lost out. Yeah, they won a cup, obviously got back in the Champions League. So I
think the same has to apply, doesn't it, for a club like Newcastle? Is, you know, not just thinking, oh well, it was a great day out and what a wonderful thing to achieve. Actually, can we go and do it again? Can we make it something that we regularly look to achieve and get to another final? And also, again, this club wants to be in this competition.
Yeah, it's learning how to balance it all, isn't it? And that's something that they are trying to do. As Malik Chow has it, he'll go back inside his own area. Quarter of the game remaining. We're going to see changes from the opposition here in a couple of moments' time. They've got a couple of subs warmed up and ready to go on the near side as Botman gives it away, and Newcastle just getting a little bit sloppy playing out from the back, but Miley will win it back, and now Newcastle, if they want to advance further forward, can do so. Lewis Hall feeds it to Elanga will find Joe Linton. He couldn't find Hall, and now there's what's going on here? The referee's blown the whistle. Elanga was taken off the ball, and that's another yellow card, and I think that is for Arezzo, I think, who's gone into the book there for a pullback on Elanga.
Yeah, I think something off the ball, wasn't it, there? Morejo. As Valverde just makes his changes, maybe as a reaction to Newcastle's.
Yeah, he's brought off Robert Navarro, has come for a sit down. So Navarro makes way, and it's one of 2 changes here. Onto the field comes Nico Serrano, and also coming on Selton Sanchez. So a couple of changes for Athletic Club here, and it was Oregithar who also made way. Miley's lost it again on the edge of the centre circle. This time Joe Linton tidies things up. Now they'll play out wide to Elanga. Elanga driving forward. He's got Hall on his outside. Voltemada and Murphy wait in the middle. Hall can't deliver the cross Not the first time of asking, but his skill is good. Gets it back to Tonali. Tonali finds Miley. Miley plays it in. Joel Linton goes past his man, was he? Well, I thought he was going to go down there. I think there was contact, but fair play to Joel Linton. Tried to stay on his feet, and the keeper, Unai Simon, comes and collects it.
Yeah, but it was a really good pass from Miley, just piercing through the midfield into Joe Linton. It's been such a key of this second half, Joe Linton's movement from that midfield area in towards Voltemada, and he's the one that's been getting the joy rather than the centre forward. And again, it's very simple. It's just running off the ball. There's not a lot to it other than running into the space from that midfield area. But if you're not picked up by one of the centre backs, you're then free.
Yeah, well, the ball is played back to the goalkeeper Simon, who's been beaten twice tonight. Nothing he could have done really with either of them. There's a rare foray forward. Sees the ball run away from Gomez, who he had that chance, didn't he, at 1-0 when he hit Pope, maybe got a save on it onto the post and it went behind. Other than that, he's been ploughing a bit of a lone furrow, hasn't he, up front tonight?
Yeah, he's looking a bit downcast now, isn't he? I think the running's gone out of him. He worked incredibly hard in that first half to get on the end of things and make the runs in behind. He's just basically been a spectator in this half.
Yeah, he has indeed. 2-0 Newcastle lead. You are listening to Newcastle against Athletic Club in the Champions League, live on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, they're here for it. And the ball out over on the far side for Athletic Club throw-in. You just feel that second goal coming so early in the second half, Dean, it's just knocked the stuffing out of the visitors, hasn't it?
Yeah, it definitely did. But also, Newcastle's performance has been at such a higher level compared to the first. I think we've seen then the difference between the two sides, and it's actually become very easy for Newcastle since they up their performance.
Yeah, well,
as it should be. But then it's difficult this second half now for Newcastle. They're not going to go and extend themselves particularly, even though the fans would love that.
Well, Thiaw was at full stretch there to keep the ball out of his penalty area. Trippier back heels it forward. Tonali wins the header. Murphy was just caught on heels momentarily, but Voltemada will win it back, but he's beaten to it, and now the ball played forward, and now there is a chance. There's a shot from distance, he's clawed away. It was a substitute who's just come on who had the effort there. Nico Serrano unleashed one from 25 yards out, and Pope was at full stretch there, and he's lucky in some ways there was nobody following it up.
Well, he totally didn't expect it, the shot from Serrano.
Now a chance here. Hall went rampaging through the centre circle, and he's given away a free kick. And the referee, despite the protests of Hall, is waving it away and says that he fouled Aitor Paredes, and it will be a free kick to Athletic Club. But it just shows, doesn't it, even at 2-0, a shot out of the blue there, and they almost had one back.
Yeah, they did. It was a terrific strike from Serrano, looking for that corner, and Nick Pope was the opposite side, not really paying attention to whether that could have been an attempt on goal, but did well to scramble across and make actually a really good save down to his right-hand side.
Yeah, he got a good strong hand on it, didn't he? And kept it out. But just a warning, with 17 remaining here, this game is not done yet. 2-0, comfortable, but not job done just yet, despite those changes for Eddie Howe. And he might just be reminding his team of that as Elanga will go forward. Here's Joel Linton, no doubt a third goal, and it is job done, game over, but are they going to risk going for the third goal? Here's Murphy on the near side, lays it back to Kieran Trippier, feeds it to Voltemada, back to goal on halfway, holds it up, waiting for a challenge to come in. It does come in, and he just loses control of it, and it rolls out, and he looked pretty frustrated there, Nick Voltemada.
He did, but he's got a velvet touch, Voltemada, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I don't think he hasn't miscontrolled it, has he, when it's come into him? He's just stuck there. It's then he's just been crowded out too often, which is his frustration, I think.
Yeah. I do think they're going to get people eventually running off him if he can hold it in the middle of the field and lay it off, and he's done that a few times already this season for Newcastle. He's hit the ground running, I think it's fair to say, probably more so than they would have hoped here at Newcastle. 2-0, not had a goal tonight, did have one chance as Botman just eases the ball out of play. 2-0, 15 left, you're live on Talksport 2. Mark Wilson with the former England man Dean Ashton here, and at the moment Newcastle on their way to that all-important third win.
Yes, which is the most important thing, and there shouldn't be any apologies for the way that they're handling and managing this second half. Newcastle are back in the Champions League, and at the moment they've got a comfortable home victory. It should be celebrated.
Hall just made a mesmerising run past two would-be defenders and tried to find Elanga, but the ball now is being played into the space that he's left. But Joe Linton, so disciplined, has tracked back in behind his colleague and watches it out for a goal kick. Dortmund are on the board over on Talksport. Manchester City 3, Borussia Dortmund 1. Anton with a goal. 15 minutes or so left there. You can listen to it live over on Talksport. If you've got the app, you can swipe left and right between the two. 3-1 there, 2-0 here. Marseille 0, Atalanta 0. Inter Milan back in front against Cara, and Club Brugge back in front against Barcelona. 3-2 there. What a game that is. Bayer Leverkusen in front at Benfica. No joy for Jose in the Champions League, and Galatasaray have doubled their lead at Ajax. 2-0 they lead. Earlier on Talksport 2 tonight, Qarabag 2, Chelsea 2 was a full-time score. Don't forget tomorrow night, triple header of action as Voltemada, having kept it in his long legs. He did look like Bambi on ice there, because he just fell over. His legs slipped out. He lost the boots and he couldn't stay on his feet, out for a throw-in.
Yeah, he just has a wry smile towards his manager.
Here now on the turn goes the substitute Sanchez, gets it away. Now the Sanchez ball over the top, could be a chance in behind here, and a little bit of a mix-up at the back as Botman tried to get it away. It fell off his boot and into the arms of the waiting Nick Pope, but another little bit of danger from Athletic Club.
Well, I mean, outstanding defending it was. Beautiful little flick from Serrano over the top for Gomez, but Botman was there, and we've not quite seen the best of him since that nasty injury that he had here at Newcastle. But you feel as if we're starting to see the best of him again. Him and Thiaw are putting together a very decent partnership, keeping Fabian Schär out the side, and that was just brilliant from him to outstretch a leg back to Pope.
Yeah, that's Hierro about to come on, as is Garasabal. So a couple more changes coming for the visitors here, as they look to try and get something out of what looked a bit of a lost cause about 15 minutes ago, but all of a sudden they're starting to have a little bit more ball, a groan of frustration, because Newcastle concede another throw-in, another free kick. Unai Gomez, his evening is over. He's tried hard, he had the chance in the first half, but he couldn't find the back of the net. And also coming off Jesus Areso, he has run himself into the ground, and having picked up a booking, they're taking him out of the firing line.
Yeah, I think there's certainly part of Valverde that might feel there's a little something here. But again, have they really got the quality to get that goal? And that's what's missing for sure from their side, because they're not just any players. You know, certainly the Williams brothers are two outstanding talents.
Yeah, they are indeed. And, you know, even the withdrawal of Guruceta before kickoff. He scored 3 goals this year in the Champions League. Scored a couple of lovely goals against Qarabag last time out. Scored against Dortmund as well. He's out with what they said flu-like symptoms. So hopefully he'll be available from a Athletic Cup point of view. Here now Newcastle on the attack. They're trying to get Elanga in behind. It's a foot race and he's going to win it. Oh, he won it, but he just couldn't keep it in. He's maybe slipped as he tried to hook the ball in there, but a bit of a awakening there for Andoni Garasabal on a sub in his first thing. He's a full tilt sprint.
Yeah, I think the calves took a little tweak there, didn't it? Garasabal just coming off the bench, maybe not warmed up quite as well as he needed to up against Elanga, who gave him 5 yards and still beat him, but couldn't hook his foot round it.
All working its way upfield here, and how different it could have been if Adama Boiro's in possession now. His thunderbolt of a shot hit the post with the keeper beaten. Pope wouldn't have got near it. It hit the post at 1-0 and it cannoned out to safety. Fine margins and all that, as we're going to see the Galarreta about to come on as well. It'll be the fifth and final change for Ernesto Valverde and Athletic Club as Voltemada wrestled off. He's getting a little bit frustrated now. He's not really got anyone to lay the ball off to when it gets to him at the minute. And here comes the final change, and it will be Inigo Ruiz de Galarreta who comes on.
Yeah, Voltemada, the best part of the first 10 minutes of the second half was that Joe Linton got close to him. Since then, he's been isolated again.
And it is Alessandro Rego goes off. And it is at the moment a question of seeing out the final 10 plus added on time, but there could be a chance here for Athletic Club trying to work their way forward. Will the ball work its way? It does edge of the area. Could be a chance for a shot. Takes a deflection and Pope was behind it. And again, it was a substitute, Nico Serrano. That's two really good efforts he's had now, but the deflection took the sting out of it and gratefully into the arms of Nick Pope. Still 2-0.
Yeah, he's got a sweet left foot, Serrano. Didn't hesitate there to take the shot on. You sometimes worry that deflection could whip it over the top of Pope, but put it straight into the arms.
Yeah, well, as it stands, although we'll hang on to that because Hierro back heels it. He had a chance there, maybe to have a shot. And I think if he'd have realised there was no one behind him, he would have had a shot. Ball given away again. Newcastle are getting frustrated here. They're giving the ball away regularly, and they're inviting the opposition forward here. And should Athletic Club get one, it'll be a very nervy final few minutes for those in black and white. But as it stands, Newcastle will be in the top 6. In fact, 4 clubs from England in the top 8 as it stands. Arsenal, Manchester City, Newcastle and Liverpool. Ball forward here down the Athletic Club right, and Trippier did well. He stretched out a tired leg there to beat Berringer to the ball, and he gets it back to his goalkeeper at 2-0, 9 remaining. But as it stands, Dean, it's looking pretty healthy for the English clubs.
Yeah, it is. And, of course, we want as many of the sides in that knockout phase as possible.
Well, Tottenham are only a point behind as well. They're 10th, so we've got 5 of the top 10. Here comes Trippier forward, feeds it to Murphy. He's onside, he's in on goal, he squares it, surely! Oh, somehow Newcastle don't score. Voltemada was waiting to put it in. It went past him and Elanga couldn't turn it home. Behind for a goal kick. Big chance.
I just wonder if Voltemada allowed this to go through to Elanga, whether he had a shout or not. Murphy it was that just broke the offside line and then played it across towards Voltemada, who couldn't quite stretch, and he definitely left it. And that was his last part to play.
Yeah, Nick Voltemada makes way. I'm like you, it looked like he could have scored, but he left it. And it'll be Jacob Ramsey that comes on. And the final Newcastle substitution is made with 7 and a bit minutes remaining. You're live on Talksport 2. Been another triple header of European action. Got another one coming up tomorrow night as well. Got a choice of listening at 8 o'clock. Aston Villa, Maccabi Tel Aviv live in the Europa League, 8 o'clock. Jim Proudfoot and Andy Townsend there. And we go to Sellers Park for Palace against Alkmaar in the Conference League. Ollie Klink and the former Palace man Darren Ambrose. Before that, Talksport 2 for Sturm Graz against Nottingham Forest. Alex Crook and the former Forest man Luke Chambers. Our team there. So you need the app really. If you've not got it, the Talksport app, it's free and available in all the usual places. And given the amount of sport we've got coming up leading into Christmas, you are going to need it. As now the ball played forward by Miley. Oh, Murphy didn't realise he'd passed it. He was looking behind him and the ball was in front of him, and it's all the way through to Simon, and it's still 2-0.
Yeah, he was looking on the floor thinking it was going to be played through, down by his feet, and it was over the top of his head from Miley. So a slight opportunity gone.
Yeah, ball here now works its way into the path of the substitute, and Serrano's made a big impact since he came on. He feeds it wide, cross comes in from the right hand side, header from Hierro, didn't get the power on it, and it's down and well wide in the end. But that's probably the best move we've seen from Athletic Club in this second half.
Yeah, superb, wasn't it? Serrano, like you say, taking on the back foot, feeding it out towards Gorazabal, clips it in. Hierro, free header, but because he was falling away from goal, to get the power, direction in the header, always very difficult, and he managed neither.
Yeah, 5 and a bit remaining. Newcastle 2-0. Full time in the Championship, Preston 2, Swansea 1. Deep in added on time, QPR 1, Southampton 2, and Wednesday 1, Norwich 1. Portsmouth 0, Wrexham 0. They've got, similar to here, 5 minutes remaining in that one. Barca have equalised again. It's Club Brugge 3, Barcelona 3. Galatasaray have got a third at Ajax to lead 3-0. All played forward here. Well, that looked a little bit of a soft free kick. Adama Boiro was deemed to have been pulled back. Free kick in front of Eddie Howe. I'll tell you what, that second goal coming so quickly has done Eddie Howe and Newcastle a big favour, Dean, hasn't it? Because they've not really done a massive amount since 2-0, and all of a sudden it's got a bit edgy, hasn't it?
A bit more like it was in the first half, isn't it? A little bit sloppy in confidence from the away side. But again, they haven't been carved open. Newcastle, a couple of shots from outside the area. Sort of tame header. It's not like they've been cut through.
Switch your play out onto this near side. Berringer brings it down. Nice first touch. Trippier in front of him. He fancied having a run at him, but he miscontrolled it, and Trippier just nicks it off him. Really good play. I think we can call him a veteran now. Slightly risky crossfield ball. Elanga didn't win it. Athletic Club have it back on halfway, and we've got 4 remaining. Talksport 2. Some live NFL action coming up overnight tonight. Might catch the latter end of that on the way home. Oh, sorry, the beginning of it on the way home. Here's Hall, back to goal. On his own goal line, feeds it away. Joe Linton gets it away to Elanga. Elanga, I think when he came on, would have been expecting a few opportunities. Not had any. Hierro slipped Botman. He's in on goal. Shot deflected and away from goal. Hierro there got past Botman. He was in on goal. It was a tight angle and the shot deflected away from goal. But another warning here. Here now goes Serrano. He's going to shoot across goal, and it's beaten away by Pope. And all of a sudden Newcastle are taking a few hammer blows here, and they're hanging on.
They are, and it's the substitutes that have made all the difference for Athletic Club. Hierro with a beautiful turn on the edge of the area to get away from Botman, and then Thiaw came across to bail him out. It was the deflection off him that took it away from Nick Pope, and then when it came back again, Serrano into the penalty area. Brilliant left-footed shot once again. Pope down to his left-hand side to palm it away brilliantly.
Yeah, corner then. Going to be swung in towards the near post. Joe Linton with a great header at the near post. Heads it away, but Athletic Club will get it back. They're going to look to swing it in now again from that far side. Header towards goal is a poor one, and Pope was brave, and he's come out and taken everything there. A Bilbao player, a Newcastle defender. That's what you call commanding goalkeeper. It was Vivian with a header. It rather looped up, but it was falling dangerously in the 6-yard box, and Nick Pope came and took the lot.
Yeah, Vivian it was, with the real opportunity though, when that was whipped in by Serrano, and it just hit his shoulder. If he gets a good header on this, it's going to be a great chance, and it's going to be very difficult for Nick Pope because of the pace on the cross, and it hits his shoulder and takes all the sting out of it, and then it's hanging there in the air. Nick Pope comes and just commands and punches it away. He has to take out everybody. He has no choice whatsoever.
No. Just watching Ernesto Valverde, he's just talking to a couple of his subs. I think he'd be really pleased by the way that the subs have impacted this game for Athletic Club.
Yeah, whereas it's been a total contrast from Eddie Howe's substitutions. It's not made a difference. It's sent them flat and disorganised.
Yeah, it certainly has. Sandro Tonali, it was a bit of collateral damage from Nick Pope's clearance. He's just clutching his shoulder. They'll be hoping he's okay. It remains Newcastle 2, Athletic Club 0. Dan Burns, wonderful header. I'm sure you'll see it on social media across the weekend. Great header on 11 minutes. Planted it right in the top corner. That was 1-0 at the break. Joe Linton with a powerful header from close range gave the keeper no chance to make it 2-0 just inside the second half. And Newcastle had a couple of chances, but you have to say it's been the visitors who've had the better of the effort second half. Certainly Serrano, the substitutes, had 3 good shots at goal, and that given away by Athletic Club. We're into the 90th minute. There's going to be a little bit of added on time. We've had plenty of subs, a goal and a couple of injuries as well. Maybe 4 or 5 minutes at least, I would have thought, to add on here.
Yeah, Ernesto Valverde, I just wonder whether he'll be thinking, I tell you what, if I would have had my top players, with this performance, we could have got something out of this.
Yeah. Ball with Thiaw. Advances forward. He's lost it. Now he needs to get back because the ball's played in behind him. And here now is Sheldon Sanchez looking to get down the side. Can he earn a corner? No, get a throw-in off Trippier. Sheldon Sanchez did really well there. Fourth official emerges down below us, looking to tell us how long he'll be added on here on Talksport 2 tonight. Well, that throw was dodgy at best from Sanchez. Ball played back. 5 added on minutes we've got here. 5 added on minutes for Newcastle to see out and pick up a third win. Third in a row as well in the Champions League. Is there going to be a late twist? Berenguer wide on the left, cuts in on his right foot. Was looking to try and swing some kind of pass across the field. He'll play it out wide. That wasn't the best pass there. In fact, it's a really good touch in the end from De Galarreta, who did well to keep it. Elanga tries to win it back. Referee will say that was a foul. I think, as I mentioned earlier, I think Elanga would have come on thinking, I'm going to get some good runs at these. They're on the. They were gone, weren't they, at that club, Athletic? They're gone at that time, Athletic Club, but they've worked their way back into it.
Yeah, definitely. And now he's obviously in that centre forward position, which he doesn't play particularly very often.
Yes, Hall, always risky pass there, misplaced it, it's thumped away by Trippier. It's finished at Hillsborough. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Norwich 1. Is that enough for Norwich?
I wouldn't have thought so, but they've backed the manager, the ownership so far. The local radio.
Yeah, Crossfield's switch is then lumped into the box, and again Pope will get there. It was Garasabel who hooked it in. No real pace on the ball, and Pope comes out. He's not had a lot to do, Nick Pope, but what he has had to do, he's done pretty well. It's 2-0.
Yeah, it's been a couple of snappy saves he's had to make, sort of keeping his concentration when not really involved, and then a couple of shots from outside the area that he's had to deal with. He's dealt with them well, but that is his big strength, isn't it? Is that shot stopping.
Yeah, might have another one to save here because Athletic Club come forward again with Berenguer. Cuts back in on the right, whips the ball in. Malik Thiaw just heads it away. It'll fall to Sanchez. He keeps the ball alive. It's now fed into Vivian, who gets it out wide on the right. Can they find a cross? The time is running out. We're into 5 added on minutes. We've had a couple of those already here. Elanga's chasing and almost got onto the end of an errant pass, and Elanga's asking his teammates to come chasing with him, but Ramsey just held off a moment there. And Athletic Club will bring it towards halfway again. They're starting to just throw everybody forward now. They may as well go for broke. It is 2-0. Ball down the left-hand side. Squared. Here's a chance now. They'll pull it back, and a shot on target. And again, it's that man, the substitute Serrano. But this time he didn't get any real conviction on it. And Pope just kneels down as the ball bobbles into his arm. Big chance, though.
Really good chance. Just cut back towards him, just couldn't sort his feet out. He was just stood still, whereas you need to take a little step away from the ball to step towards it. He just couldn't move his feet. Serrano stabbed at it into the ground, takes the pace off it, and easily into Pope's arms. That's another attempt on target, which is now more than Newcastle have had in the game.
Yeah, you're listening to Newcastle against Athletic Club in the Champions League live on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it, book now at enterprise.co.uk. We're deep into added on time. There's some interesting scorelines coming through in the Champions League. We'll run you through all those in a moment as Trippier heads the ball back to his goalkeeper. Just a reminder, this game brought to you in partnership with TNT Sports, the home of European football. The Newcastle cementing their place in the top 8. Remember, the top 8 in the Champions League after the group phase, if you like, or the league phase, they go straight through, don't they, to the last 16. So really is a big advantage if they can get in that top 8. But you did mention they've got some big ties on the road to come. Some tough ties. Marseille, Bayer Leverkusen, Paris Saint-Germain, all to come away from home. They play PSV here in their final home game. Ball played forward on the turn. Here come Athletic Club. Time is running out now. Can they get one back and hope they get enough time? Here's Hierro trying to stretch in behind Malik Thiaw, and again he's causing a bit of a problem for Thiaw, but in the end the defender does well. Ball here played across the face of the penalty area, and Ramsey's done well, and Newcastle almost like a bit of a training exercise, passing it around inside their own final third. Miley wins the header, but it's coming back here for Athletic Club. They might get one more chance. Did they keep that in? Yes, they did. It's Bering who's kept it in, turns onto his right foot, whips it in, headed away. It'll fall. A chance maybe for a shot for Vesga. He loses control of it, and Newcastle could break. Tonali, though, can't find his man, but he'll get a free kick, and that should just about do it. Even the referee says everybody calm down. Points to his watch. Tonali down. It's 2-0 to Newcastle here. Dean Ashton, it's not been vintage Newcastle, but it's been job done Newcastle.
Yeah, they've done enough.
In fact, that's it. The whistle goes and a big cheer goes round. It is a third successive Champions League win for Newcastle United. Dan Burn got them off with a wonderful start with a brilliant header. Trippier's free kick. Burn unmarked at the far post, about 15 yards out, arrowed the header that curled in and kissed the far post to make it 1-0. There were chances for Athletic Club. They hit the post. Gomez off Pope onto the post, and then Boiro, a blockbuster of a shot inside 20 minutes. It beat everyone but the post, hit the post and went to safety, and that really as close as Athletic Club came first half. Joe Linton got the second half off to a flyer for Newcastle. He headed in Barnes' cross, but at 2-0 Newcastle made multiple changes, and that allowed the visitors to grow into it. Serrano had 3 or 4 good efforts at the end. Pope made a couple of decent saves, but all in all, against an understrength Athletic Club, Newcastle have got the victory, and it's a victory, Dean, that leaves them in that top 8. So a good night for Eddie Howe and Newcastle.
I think any time Newcastle can turn around and say, oh well, it was a pretty average performance, but we've won 2-0 in the Champions League, is a time to be, well, that's not a bad thing to say, is it? They've come a long way to get to this point where a performance like that, but they still get the victory in the Champions League, and it puts them in a fantastic position to qualify, which would have been the remit at the start of the season. And obviously a couple of injuries, which will be frustrating, of course it will be. We've been able to rest May, making some substitutions in the second half as well, so all round I think he'll be pretty pleased.
Well, the Athletic Club fans are high up the way. They're all still here. The red and white scarves are on display there, applauding their team, who are applauding them back. Newcastle, as they do on the back of a winner, doing a lap of honour here. 2-0, Newcastle have won it. They are winners again into the Champions League. Right, it's time now to pick our man of the match with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
The Here For It hero on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, we're here for it.
So, Dean, who are you going for? Who is our Enterprise man of the match?
Malik Thiaw, I thought didn't put a foot wrong. I thought he was outstanding. He's come in, he's keeping Fabian Schär out of the team. It wasn't a fantastic performance from Newcastle, but he was flawless, commanding in his 1v1 duels, superb with the ball at his feet to play out, and really starting to look comfortable in that Newcastle back line.
So there it is. Our man of the match is Malik Thiaw, the Here For It hero with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.